beautiful thing about it is my life is just as, maybe if not more, consumed by drugs and alcohol today. But the only difference is I don't use them, and it provides me an amazing, beautiful, blessed life.
Yeah.
It makes no sense anywhere else in the world.
Huh? Yeah.
And it's nothing shy of a miracle and magical that only makes sense within the sober community of what at one point in time I looked at as like this fucking cult. Like I wasn't buying what you're selling. I'm not drinking your Kool-Aid. I'm not fucking like, dude, I love life and I don't want to live mine sitting in some weird church basement with these weird old people. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, then for me, the pain had just become so great. A whole lot of things aligned to where I was willing to do the unthinkable, which was like maybe conceive to my innermost personal self that like, you know what I do know? Is that I don't fucking know. Because prior to that date, my resume stated that I did know some shit because I had done some things. So it's just such a mind fuck.
Yeah, man.
How do I go from like being a pretty successful guy by an outsider's perspective to the reality of understanding that the very best of my thinking places me in a position where I'm walking into my 13th inpatient treatment center. And I'm standing in the basement with this weird 19-year-old boy as he's thumbing through a donations box looking for some used underwear. And I'm praying to God that he finds him. How the fuck did I get here? One and one was not equaling two, boys.
It didn't add up, man.
But what I didn't realize then, because I was so consumed by the mess that I was incapable of seeing the message, that day that I thought was the worst day of my life, true story, has literally turned out to be the best day of my life. Like that day, and I've had some really rad days in my life. I've done some of the most amazing things, even under the influence, that I would never take back. But that day, legit, standing in my 13th rehab, a Catholic charities facility that cost me $2 to get into, I walked in with the clothes on my back, literally tied on by a shoestring. Everything I owned consisted of 8 scarves, 2 jackets, 3 socks, a stick of deodorant. It fit into this bag that doubled as my pillow, a needle, a spoon, and a restraining order. That's all that I owned, legit. And a passport, oddly enough. And I'm in the basement with this 19-year-old kid, and he's thumbing through these donation boxes looking for some used underwear for me. And I'm like praying to God that he finds them, and he does not find them. But what he does find is a pair of size 40 women's sweatpants with no drawstring, a woman's tank top, and a pair of size 13 Jesus sandals, right? And
that's a hell of a fit right there, bro.
That's like Florida's finest, man. No disrespect, which is why I love Florida.
Great down
you
here.
just get in where you fit in here, but it's just some big Von zippers.
I've seen that fit before, man.
Aces. I like, God bless Florida, man. But at the time, I was like, dude, like, I go from like skateboarder, jackass, Viva La Bam, a New York Times author, like, who's done some shit, man.
Yeah.
And I'm in this basement with this weird boy fucking handing me women's clothes. And like, how? I didn't even and my father was like, you know what I mean? Like, I should have known. Look, I didn't end up in addiction. It's funny. I didn't end up in addiction because I took the short bus to school, right? Quite the contrary. I ended up in addiction because I was too smart for my own goddamn good. And every time I'd land in a psychiatrist's office, a doctor's office, a treatment center, a 12-step program, in a seat that had the ability to save my life, I would outthink myself right out of it. I'd seen me do it so many times. And it's funny because quite the contrary. And this just dawned on me. I didn't end up in recovery until I took the short bus to that meeting. I literally had to dumb my way into sobriety.
Wow.
Straight up.
You had a really unique, like, your perspective had to have been so much different than everyone else. Like, you were kind of unique in a sense because it was almost like during CKY and Jackass and Viva La Bam and all that stuff, you had one foot in this crazy fucking world with Bam and like the spotlight being on national TV.
For sure.
And then you had another foot in this fucking just hell.
Dude, I'm glad that you pointed that out, and it's really ironic because shameless plug here, but the book that I was just telling you about, that I did the audio version for, the narration for the audio version, The Streets of Baltimore. It really chronicalizes that whole thought process of knowing that. Like, that was because no matter how amazing and beautiful the experience was and how much I loved it and wanted to take advantage of it, I knew that it was only a matter of time before I burnt it to the ground as a direct result of my addiction, because like I was unable to control, it. When I am drinking and drugging, I lose the pleasure of having a say-so in any matter anymore. And I didn't understand it then, but my book is all, my life is all in retrospect. Live forward and learn backwards.
Right.
So now, when I had written that book, after I had made it through that, I could like really see the reality of my situation. And truth be told, the reason why I ended up in those positions for so long is because I refused to give addiction or alcoholism and or recovery the time, attention, or respect that it deserved.
Right.
Because I knew, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, I wanted what you had, but I wasn't really willing to do what you suggested in order to obtain this new life that you have. There has to be a quicker, easier way for me to get there.
Right. It's got to be an easier way than this.
Right? I was just too smart for my own good. And I swear to God, I always say my life for fucking like 18 years was basically me rearranging the furniture on the Titanic. That could just be this whole podcast.
You knew it was going down.
but I always, with the best intentions, like,
right.
If I just put this here and you come here and she goes there and we marry,
right.
like, it's going to be different.
Oh my God.
And I believed it. I really believed it. And then I'd wake up tomorrow, right? The behaviors. I'd wake up tomorrow and repeat yesterday's actions, and I'm stuck in Groundhog's Day for like another 10 years.
Whoa.
Like, that was legit it.
What the fuck is that Alf? I can't get over that Alf tattoo. It keeps drawing me to it.
Dude, so do you know...
What's the story behind that?
Do you know... There is a story behind it.
I'm sure there is.
The creator of Alf. You're a fan of Alf, you remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
The creator of Alf, Michael, I think is his name, Michael something. Look it up.
Yeah, I remember.
There's a book written about it called Permanent Midnight, which they then made a movie about it, and Ben Stiller plays him. But he was a strung out heroin and crack addict while developing the treatment plan of Alf, which makes sense if you think about it. This weird shit. Watch the movie or read the book. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever read. And Ben Stiller plays it and plays a great drug addict.
Oh, wow, dude. I had no fucking clue.
And
that
he was
explains
like,
a lot. He was like an alien
from Almac, and he lived
That's what it
all
stood
day.
for, alien life form. That's what Alf
And
stood
all
for.
he did was just like try to eat the cat, the family cat.
It was such a weird show. That was when I was really young.
If you read the book or watch the movie, it makes complete sense.
Oh my God.
So I ended up that's not why I got this though.
Okay.
I wish I was that smart.
Story.
It's just aligned. But I was at this tattoo convention and they're like, yo, we'll pay you to get a tattoo. I was a judge or something. I'm like, okay. And I think maybe Bam came up with the idea for Alf. And I'm like, all right. So I get the tattoo. And then these chicks come up like, we have some blow. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah. So we go out to the parking lot and the security follows. People are following. I'm in the car doing this blow. And because I breached my contract, they never paid me for the convention or the tattoo that I was supposed to get.
You breached your contract for doing blow?
For leaving.
Oh, for leaving.
And avoiding my responsibilities of being a judge because chicks had cocaine. And that was way more important. Come on, guys.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, can't blame yourself for that.
Yeah.